Today I want to talk about my experience with face eczema or facial eczema. I have had face eczema since 2008 and it started, I had a few stressful months before the eczema started appearing on my face, and prior to that I never had eczema on my face. I used to have it on my body but not on my face, and when I used to have it on my body it didn't bother me as much. It used to itch and was uncomfortable, but because I felt I could hide it, it didn't bother me as much as when it started appearing on my face, because there was no way for me to hide it, and even when I used to wear makeup it would only make it look worse and feel worse. So in 2008, after going through a stressful period, these patches started appearing on my face, and initially I thought it was due to a new foundation that I started using, because I bought a new foundation and I used it for a couple of weeks and then the eczema patches started appearing. So I just assumed that it was the foundation that was causing, these flare-ups. Maybe I was allergic to it or something. So I stopped using the foundation and the eczema didn't get any better. So I was like, okay, so maybe it isn't the foundation that was causing the flare-ups. And at that point I went to see my doctor, my GP, and initially they said to me that we don't want to give you something too strong because it's on your face, and because I'm quite pale they mentioned that it might thin my skin. And actually they didn't say that, they just said that you might be able to see the veins under your skin. I didn't really know anything about eczema at that point, and I didn't know anything about steroids or the side effects. So initially they prescribed aqueous cream, and I've spoken about aqueous cream before. I've made a video about it, and it's a paraffin-based ointment that they prescribe to eczema sufferers. But it didn't work for me and it made my eczema worse. But I continued using it because I didn't really know what else to do. But eventually I went back to the GP and I told them, it's not working for me. So at that point they did prescribe a 1% hydrocortisone cream, which is a very mild steroid, and they told me to use it for a week, which I did, and the eczema started getting better. And so I was like, okay, so this is working, everything's gonna be okay. But as soon as I stopped using the steroids, the eczema started coming back. I was like, okay, so I went back to using the steroids because, again, I didn't really know that it had side effects. So I just continued using it, and then on and off. But then about a year later, yes, I used steroids for a year. I went back to my GP and I said, I've been using this for a year and it's not really doing anything. And he was shocked. He was like, you've been using it for a year? Are you crazy? Then he told me that, it will thin your skin and so on. So at that point, I didn't know what to do. I was looking into eczema and natural remedies, and I came across acupuncture and how acupuncture can, help eczema as well as other things. And I started seeing an acupuncturist in 2009. End of 2009, I think it was around November time, and straight away he said to me, you need to stop using steroids completely. And of course I did, and that's when the eczema became really, really bad, and my whole face flared up. Just the whole face flared up. Skin was red, it was thick, it was flaky, it was very, very itchy. And I remember my face, it always constantly felt like it was boiling, it was on fire, it was so hot. And I actually have bad circulation, which means that my hands and my feet get cold very easily. So at that point my hands and feet were very cold, and yet my face was boiling. And it was November, December time, so the weather was really cold here in the UK, but still my face was very hot, and it was always boiling. And I remember, because my hands were cold, I'd sit there like this because my hands were cold, and I'd cool down my face. Oh, so yeah, I started acupuncture, and I was very fortunate that I was able to be seen without being charged, just because we knew the acupuncturist, and he didn't charge me. So I had acupuncture done on me for 4 months, and during those 4 months I did not touch steroids. So those whole 4 months my face was inflamed, and it was the last year of university of my course, and I remember just feeling so embarrassed to go to university, and I missed a few lectures just because I couldn't wear makeup, and I cut my hair really short because any strand of hair that would touch my face would just make my face itch like mad. So I cut my hair really short, and I made sure that, you know, the hair didn't touch my face. So I just felt really ugly at that point. I couldn't wear makeup, my whole face was inflamed. I'd wake up in the morning and my eyes were swollen. It was just so uncomfortable, and I lost a lot of my confidence. I just felt really depressed, I felt really down, and my friends and family around me would say to me, oh, it doesn't look that bad, and oh, you just need to stop thinking about it. And I just felt so lonely because I felt that they didn't understand what I was going through, and it's so easy to say don't think about it. It's so easy. I wish I could not think about it. I just couldn't. I mean, even if I did forget, it's the sensation and the burning and the itching that wouldn't let me forget.